Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Now, before I get started on this next story, this is the second part. So please click on the suggestion window above and it'll take you to the first part of the story. So now that you did that, as you know, I had that conversation with my doctor where we learned just two things. One, miraculous life. Never met an individual like myself. Flattered, but double-edged sword because he doesn't know how he can help me. A detail that I forgot to mention, but it's okay because I can mention it right now, is that he also did not believe that I would be getting any better. That my nervous system will only recover due to a miracle. That it will be a miracle for me to get to full recovery or even to recover at a greater rate than I already have. That my body has already done all its leaps and wonders. And medically speaking, he doesn't see anything else progressing that's not a miracle. But whether I deserve it or not, miracles continue to happen in my life and I know in the life of others. And that's the story that I want to share with you guys today. It's a miracle of healing. Now, I'm only making this following statement because I have a lot of different areas that are wrong with my nervous system. A lot of major areas, about 7 of them. And I can go into great detail, but then this video will be way too long. And that's not what I want this video to be that long. I can make another video if you guys want to know of the 7 different areas that my body is really affected. I can make a video about that. But for sake of time, I'm not going to go over it. So this healing that I received is not an overall healing. And I'm still waiting for that. But 2 major areas of my body have been healed. And another 3rd area seems to be getting better. And all this is after a doctor, a medical professional, continuing to doubt and believe that things will get better. Now, if you've been following my story long enough, my whole story has been of overcoming doubt, overcoming the naysayers, overcoming what science says. And I mean no disrespect to science, to doctors, to medical professionals, because we need them. And their intelligence has been given to them by God. That's what I truly believe, and they're there for a reason. But there's also a greater space that God works in, is when doubt is present, or when people try to doubt an individual, and most importantly, doubt who that individual believes in. So, with that being said, the story I'm sharing with you happened December 4th. My wife and I went to San Diego to celebrate our 5-year anniversary of marriage. And it's the first anniversary we celebrated without her being pregnant or having any other limitations on her part. But it's the first anniversary that we went where I had major limitations. So, hey, that's how we do it. We roll with the punches. Really quick story. We started the day off as usual. You know, I have a very long regimen that I have to do just to get moving, just to get going. I followed everything. I did everything else I usually do to operate on the day-to-day basis with my health. And we went to Balboa Park. Everything was going great, but then my hips started giving out to the point that I was not able to walk back to the car. So my wife went to go get the car. She picked me up. We went back to the hotel and just called it a day. You know, it was like 4 p.m. I believe, and we were just ready to call it a day because my body was just not cooperating that day. My hips were giving out so bad that I couldn't really walk very much, and we weren't going to just be miserable walking around San Diego. At least I wasn't up for that. So we stayed home. But fast forward, and a few hours later, my wife ran her hands through my back, and for the most part, I can't feel anything. But I felt goosebumps, the chills all over my body, and something that normally happens anymore, where I can feel the touch. Usually once it gets past my the center of my spine down to my legs, it's like kind of sensation-wise it's dead down there. So that was definitely something out of the ordinary. So I ran a test that my neurologist usually does every time I see him, and that's to check my sensory. I ran the test and some more, and now that is December 26th, and this happened December 4th. They're doing countless of tests during the week in San Diego, back at home. I'd like to tell you that my hips are healed. My hips were a very huge problem that I had. Although you might be able to see workouts where I'm squatting, I'm deadlifting, and I'm doing all these things, there's a limitation. I can't, when it comes to my hips, there's not really any power, any momentum, any force or strength in them. They were just, it was my other muscles compensating and allowing me to do all these other workouts, but there was limitations. I would get pain, discomfort, and I wouldn't really be able to feel them, but that's not the case anymore. It's back. My hips are working like normal. Now it's time to rebuild the strength again and get them up to par to the rest of my body and how strong the rest of my body is. But regardless, my hips are healed. That's the first one. The second one is that my pain receptors are back. They don't operate as perfectly well, but they're back. Before, I would feel no exterior pain in any way, shape, or form, which is scary because if I twisted my ankle, if I got hurt, if I got hit, cut, you name it, I wouldn't know. So that's bad. That's great. So those are two things that are healed. Now the third one that is kind of progression that seems to be getting better as time goes is my overall sensory to sensation, as in heat, sensation into fabric and texture. That sensation comes and goes so much better than what it was. It was non-existent. If anything, cold water hurt. I got some serious nerve pain from it, but now I'll touch anything cold floor, cold water, and it doesn't hurt anymore. I can feel it. But the odd part about it is that I feel it for a longer period of time, and then it goes away, and then I won't feel anything, but then I can feel it again. So it really hits or miss. But regardless, these are three things that weren't working. And although they're not working to perfection, it's still healing, it's still a miracle. And of course, one of the very first things that I did was talk to my doctor, to my transverse myelitis specialist, and I told him what happened. And my dude was so in shock that all he kept saying is this sentence: wait, so what you're telling me is Friday you couldn't feel, Friday evening you could. Wait, before you couldn't, now you can. Wait, you went from 0 to what? He just really just kept asking me the same questions over and over in a different way, just for me to continue to tell him that, listen man, it wasn't working, it's working now. And he is amazed. It's my life. And I have the utmost faith in my God that he does these things and he can do these things. And even I'm in shock. Like, I'm the one living this life, and I'm the one in shock. So I kind of like seeing other people in shock too. And it's amazing. This is a moment I've been waiting for. And I can sit here, and I'm human, and I know I'm going to go through the emotions and seasons of sitting here and wondering why I'm not fully healed, or why this got restored, and why that didn't get restored, and why did it work this way, and what caused it, what didn't cause it. And I'm natural. I know I'm going to go through those thoughts, and I'm going to have that run through my mind, but I'm very happy. I'm very grateful that my body continues to get better. And I wanted to make it very clear, it's not, my doctor knows this too, because he doesn't believe that it's anything that I'm doing that's bringing this healing, because these are all things other of his patients try to do and don't see any progress. So I can't tell you why this is happening to me, the good and the bad. But it's not my job, I guess, to understand why, or to have you understand why. But I do want to share it with you, and I hope that it encourages you, and I hope that it builds your faith, or even questions your faith, or questions what you believe and don't believe. Because I question every day, and I know who I serve. I know the God that I serve, but I question it every day because a very unfortunate thing that is happening through all this, and I don't want to dwell on it, but I do have to share it, is that because my pain receptor is getting better, I'm a lot more in pain. Right? Like, my legs hurt more, my muscles hurt more. Yeah, my nerve pain is gone, and I'm very grateful because that is horrible. Anybody who has nerve pain can understand. Nerve pain is horrible, but now I have chronic pain where from the moment I wake up till I go to bed and even into my sleep, I'm in pain. And the pain level increases or decreases, but it never goes away. And I've been in pain now since, consistent pain, chronic pain. It doesn't cease, doesn't go away since, that miracle happened. So I don't understand it, and like I mentioned in my other video, I may not ever get an answer of what's going to help me, or I may never get an answer of why this is happening to my life. But I'm going to choose to be positive, and I'm going to choose to believe, and I'm going to choose to encourage others and to share my life and share my story. And this is definitely a story worth sharing, a story worth telling of real pain, but real joy, real healing in a real life. I want to do my best to share this story without exaggerating or having too much drama in it, with being more honest about the good, but mainly more honest about the bad. And I want to let you know that although I'm extremely happy and I feel so excited every single day that I can do a lot more and I'm getting stronger by the second, by the minute, I'm also in a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort that's continued to increase. But I continue to have faith, and I continue to believe in my God, and I continue to put my rest in Him, and to use the people around me, to use their love, to live with them and enjoy them with whatever limitations I may have. So I hope this story was encouraging to you. I hope that it leads you to believe in miracles. And if this has caused some doubt in your life, or some frustration, or some anger because you haven't seen some healing, I'm sorry. I'll be praying for you. And I hope you'll be praying for me as well. And you know that life is not always what we want it to be, right? This whole 2020 has been a very difficult time for others, and a good time for some. But I know all of us are hurting somehow, and I know all of us are struggling or suffering through something. And if 2020 has shown me anything, is that we're all broken, and we're all needing something to believe in and needing some faith. And I hope that this story brings some faith, brings some belief into your heart, because hope is a beautiful thing, faith is a beautiful thing, and that is something that should never be taken from someone. And yeah, that's what I want to share with you guys today. Like I mentioned, I hope this story was encouraging to you. I hope that it's a blessing to you. And stay tuned, because there'll be more stories. Thank you for listening. God bless you guys.